14th, 2024. Please stand for the pledge. Raise the flag.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I have a motion to open up the town board meeting, November 14th, 2024?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Right. So I'm just move some things around. Before we start the public hearing, I'm going to ask Rob Remetta to come up and give us the report on the tax certiorari agreement that we have. Go ahead, Rob. Yeah.
Thank you. Robert Remetta, special counsel here in the tax certiorari proceedings. I have before the board a proposed consent order which would resolve the one pending year for the subject property located at 70 Hatfield Lane. That's the large medical building over on Hatfield. I believe it's currently occupied in part by Goshen Medical Associates. It was last sold in 2018. It was most recently sold this year for $5.1 million. And in the tax certiorari proceeding, the only question is, what is the value of the property? And the law is well settled where it says the best evidence of value is an arm's length transaction, and that's what we have here. And so the question remained at that point, before I had the necessary information, was this an arm's length transaction, and what exactly was transferred? We got, the assessor and I, Mr. Eskew, looked over several hundred pages. It was confirmed that there was no nexus, no affiliation between the parties exchanging the property. It was arm's length. The next question would be, well, what else, if anything, was acquired during that transaction? Occasionally, these entities will assume other debts that will artificially reduce the sales price. None of that was here. So it was an arm's length transaction for $5.1 million, essentially eliminates any questions of fact as to what the value is for the purposes of tax certiorari. So in fairness to the town and to the petitioner, it's right to reduce the assessment to reflect the full market value of 5.1. And what I think is good, timing is everything, is why I'm asking the board to approve this, is because the town bill comes out in January. So if we can get this done, we can get an amended tax bill, and then the town would have to issue a refund. It just won't collect the taxes. It would have to refund anyway, which would cause problems. And so with that, I'm asking that the town accept the resolution so we can resolve the pending tax year. Thank you.
Any questions from the board?
Yeah. So give us the numbers again as far as the assessment and what they filed for the certiorari.
Sure. So the certiorari was filed to reduce the assessment. Most petitioners, to protect themselves, ask for about a 90% reduction before they get to the specifics of the case. They do that because on the off chance that there's an environmental issue or whatnot, you're precluded from getting more reduction than you asked for.
Right.
But here, the actual numbers resulted in an assessment being reduced from $3,653,000 to $2,080,800, which equates to
1.5 million.
correct. And when it comes to fair market value, which most of us kind of think of when we talk about property values, it's going from a property value of $8,953,000 to $5,100,000. So it's a significant reduction, which is why I felt it was incumbent to make sure it was a legitimate transaction, which it is.
Right. Did we get any appraisals? Did they get any appraisals?
They got appraisals in connection with their financing. I received those as well. They corroborated the price.
The appraisals, and you saw the appraisals that corroborated the price?
I did.
So our refund amount is $8,408.
The fictitious refund amount is the $8,000 if we were to collect it. Instead, that's the amount that the town will forego collecting
Correct.
so long as we get the amended tax bills out.
And the school's liability is going to be what, around 60,000? I don't have the number.
Yeah.
I looked at them already.
60,000.
60,000.
And then the village is 27.
Right, I know that because I live in the village. So
Okay.
I'm asking these questions. So But what we're gonna do is what we have to do.
Correct. The concern you have is if there was any inclining that there was wiggle room to decide whether the value was incorrect, we would do that. There's certainly enough here at stake, but at the same time, I have to be candid in fairness to the town, the taxpayers, to know when it is best to resolve it expeditiously to avoid the potential accrue of interest and penalties.
We've done, Doug and I have settled, I can't tell you how many certiorari's big, and I understand where you're coming from. If you can negotiate it, it's a lot cheaper than going to court and having litigation forever.
Agreed.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So, I was gonna make a motion that we accept the tax certiorari claim for BJ Mazel LLC, section 126, block 1, lot 5.1.
Second that motion?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Cantorino?
Aye.
Councilmember Lyons?
Aye.
Councilmember Florio? Councilmember Bloomfield?
Aye.
Supervisor Petra?
Aye. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. First public hearing tonight is the matter of establishment of the Town of Goshen Ambulance District in the Town of Goshen, County of Orange, State of New York. Do I have a motion to open up that public hearing?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Floor is open to the public.
I have a sign-up sheet, so I'm going to ask Bill Troy to come up first.
Good evening, I'm Bill Troy, Town of Goshen resident, and I'd like to comment in support of the creation of this new ambulance tax district. First of all, we need to recognize that our ambulance corps represents an essential service, just the same as police and fire. And all of their calls involve adverse health incidents affecting our fellow Goshen residents, sometimes life-threatening. That's why one of the recommendations here is to upgrade the service to be provided from what is called BLS, or basic life support, to ALS, or advanced life support. The latter provides greater training of personnel as well as a higher level of medical assistance in these emergency situations. From a management point of view, the new tax district would be under the control of the Town of Goshen. An additional benefit of this new district is that it would provide greater transparency regarding reporting of costs, which does not exist now when the funding comes out of the general fund budget. It should also be noted here that it's been predicted that our current EMS will not be able to survive in the future if it continues to be supported solely by insurance reimbursements. I wanted to also mention that my understanding is that bills are already moving forward in other surrounding jurisdictions for the creation of similar ambulance tax districts. This suggests that at some point in the very near future, there will be significant competition for trained ambulance personnel. It is therefore in our best interest to approve the creation now for this new ambulance tax district in Goshen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill.
I have Neil Halloran.
Thank you, Neil Allen, resident of Goshen. I just have questions, as always. Anyhow, one of the questions I have is certainly the budget listed in here for being raised by taxes is $400,000 plus $50,000 for vehicles. Obviously, that's extremely low, and I assume that there's some reason to believe that it's going to be covered. The rest of the budget is going to be covered by some other sources of income, because certainly. If we're going to go to paramedics, I don't know whether you have to have one or two paramedics on each rig, and certainly we're going to have those 24/7, and then you have to have additional personnel because you're going to have vacation, you're going to have holidays, you're going to have sick days, everything else. So you have to have more than just enough to cover those 21 shifts or whatever. And then you also have the people who are driving the rigs and support personnel and probably office personnel. So I think overall I'm really questioning, well, we'd love to know where the budget is for the overall, you do it for the town budget where you show the overall cost and then you show where you're going to get the income from, whether it's by collecting fees or whatever else like that. But there's nothing in here that I could see that indicates anything like that. And the second thing I note in here is that it says that this is, at the current time, the expectation is that the town is going to enter into a contract with Goshen Emergency Services, whatever it's called now. However, it seems to leave it open to the idea that you could, in fact, at some point in the future, contract with another organization or individual to cover that, do the same thing. I just want to make sure that I'm understanding that correctly, not that I'm pushing anything, but that seems to be what you've written in this. Okay, thank you very much.
Mr. Howe?
Alan, Heritage Goshen. I basically have the same financial questions that Neil just introduced. Is there a comparison of the existing budget structure and expense and the expected one under the new tax district so that we can get some idea? Is it the same expense? Are they going to go up? Or what's the future hold here?
So, just so everybody's aware, we can't close this public hearing tonight, because we have to leave it open so that the village can weigh in on their part. There are a lot of questions you're gonna have, a lot of answers we'll get to you, so we will have another public hearing on this. Hopefully, we can answer a lot of those questions that you've asked tonight, and any more questions are gonna come up. Just wanna be clear, we're gonna be closing this tonight. Anything from the board?
Well, Sean Hoffman is here, and he's the author of the map report, which explains.
Someone, yeah.
Hey, I heard that. Didn't need a mic to hear that one, right? Thanks. Or was that Doug?
When are these new mics
Oh, could've been any.
That was your friend, right?
When are the new mics coming?
Sean Hoffman.
Oh, I'm sorry. What?
Can I ask a question?
Yes, Mr. Smith, you can come up.
Do I have to turn this on or can I just?
Mic is off.
Do I have to turn it on?
Yeah, if you don't mind, just so the YouTube.
Turn it on so I can be recorded.
Top line, slide
If
it
you
up.
can't turn it on, you can't make a comment.
You won't get rid of me that easy. You got it.
Bob Smith, Goshen. I'm just curious, has any thought been given to, I see that we're gonna take in Hamptonburg, New Hampton, Chester, and Goshen, town of Goshen. We can't service those all from our one station, can we? I'm just wondering if there's been provisions for additional stations around and how, you know, any thought on how you're gonna staff them and how many buses we're gonna need, or we don't need ambulances, we don't use buses.
Good question. I mean, you know, anybody that lives in the jurisdiction of the town, the village, there are village residents in Chester, very few, of Whispering Hills, basically 4 or 5 buildings in Whispering Hills that are part of the town of Goshen. Hamptonburg, we cover a lot of area. I have a meeting tomorrow with the supervisor of Montgomery and the supervisor of Blooming Grove to talk about Hamptonburg specifically, and how we're going to service this moving forward. So I'll have those answers for you.
All right, good enough, thank you.
So what I was about to say before is Sean Hoffman is the professional engineer who did the map plan. The map plan is kind of a basic thing that gives a lot of information, not all of the information, but a lot of the information. So I think it would be appropriate, Sean, for you to at least give some kind of a idea of what the map plan involved. Speaking to Mr. Smith's issue there about the different options that we have that we potentially could go to.
Can I borrow your microphone?
Sure.
Thank you. So, yes, I prepared the map plan report and filed it with the town clerk in February. The map plan report is really the first step in formation of a district. Not just an ambulance district, but as you're familiar, also with water and sewer district. And it does provide very basic information in terms of it has a stated need, which you've heard, I believe, from the ambulance district as to why they believe that this district would be necessary. Such factors as declining volunteerism and things of that nature, and increased costs. The MAP plan report actually looks at all the parcels in the ambulance's current service district, and then makes a financial determination under the assessed valuation method of what each parcel would pay. And then there's 3 different scenarios, because the Goshen EMS area covers not just the town and the village, but also portions of the village of Florida, village of Chester, as the supervisor said, and also portions of the town of Hamptonburg. So what we did to make that, create that mapping plan, we took the mapping that the Orange County Office of Emergency Management provided with us of the limits of Goshen EMS's service area, and then we calculated the value of the parcels within there, not just within the town, but also within the villages and also the portion of the town of Hamptonburg. And that's how we arrived at those different values that you see in the report. And we'll just add one thing, the MAP plan report actually looks at 3 different scenarios. I'll say the best case scenario is that all municipalities consent to the formation of the ambulance district. I believe that was 31 cents per $1,000 assessed. And then it also goes as far as looking at the worst case scenario in terms of cost, and that would be that just the town of Goshen consists of the future ambulance district. I believe that increased the cost to 67 cents per 1,000 assessed. So, yeah, does the board have any questions for me on that? George, did I provide the information you're looking for?
Yeah, just thought since the map plan is kind of the template for the whole thing, it would be good to get a little bit of an explanation. But as far as I'm concerned, and I've read it over a number of times, I'm good with it.
Thank you.
Anybody else from the public? Neil?
Thank you. This is going to be of no consequence to the whole thing, but I think when we talked about the village of Chester, I think we're talking about Whispering Hills.
Yeah.
It seems like an absurd thing for us to be covering Whispering Hills, because we have to go out of the town into Chester and then back in again. It seems like that should be annexed, I don't know what they call it.
That's been discussed about how to,
Okay.
for the purposes of round 1, it sounds like they would be in, and then it's kind of like the Hamptonburg thing, is there gonna be coverage coming
Okay,
from?
Hamptonburg's a much bigger issue.
Right.
But in this case, to cover those little things, you have to go into Chester and then back out again. We have never
I agree.
made that connection.
I think that what was discussed is at the next Village of Chester board meeting, they're gonna discuss their role participating here and then potentially taking it back. But that's,
Okay, thank you.
yeah.
Anybody else?
Jim Langlois, Town of Goshen. I think this question has already been asked, but I'm not quite sure. I think it would be really helpful for people to see how the ambulance is currently staffed and how it would be staffed under the new model. In other words, what kind of, how many people are going to be involved, what kind of certification. We obviously will want to upgrade some of the certifications. So if there was just something that said, here's what it is now, here's what it's going to look like in terms of staffing and costs. I think that would be very helpful. I mean, I'm 100% in favor of it. It's a great idea, but I think it would be very helpful for people to say X number of people, X number of categories of people, and difference in costs.
All right, I'll get that for you. Anybody else?
Well, the president of the ambulance corps, Ernie Stonick, is here, and I believe you wanted to speak, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Good evening. My name is Ernie Stonick. I'm the president of Goshen Ambulance, Goshen EMS. I'm here tonight also with a statement from Assemblyman Lamar. He wasn't able to attend tonight. He's at another event. But I'll read the statement if you don't mind. Statement on behalf of Assemblyman.
Ernie, can you turn on the mic? I'm sorry.
Okay. A statement on behalf of Assemblyman Brian Martin. It is important to highlight creating an ambulance district at the amount that is being requested will create a dedicated ALS service which currently the town of Goshen and its residents and business community does not have. Goshen EMS will touch on this more and drop calls that take place every day. It's something that can be avoided once we create this service. I've been more involved than a typical state representative in this process because prior to my election as your assemblyman, I was a supervisor of the town of Montgomery. During my 3 years at the town, my #1 priority was building up our own EMS services. When I found out the statistics that we did not have our own dedicated ALS provider, I could not understand why and how this was allowed to happen. After 2 years of research and countless public hearings and meetings in 3 villages and with the town of Montgomery, our community established the ambulance district. We have seen firsthand the benefit. The percentage of calls answered skyrocketed. The ability to invest in the state-of-the-art EMS department. The ability to invest in a state-of-the-art EMS department and our ability to cover other parts of the county that are also in need of these services. Why an ambulance district and not simply using money out of the town general fund? Because creating an ambulance district will allow large businesses, even those including a pilot, to pay into the service. This creates less of a tax burden on homeowners and smaller businesses. With the inflation costs continuing to rise, it is important to maximize every service and every tax dollar spent. The creation of an ambulance district is not the same as creating a fire district. It will be completely controlled by the town board and act as a special district similar to a water and sewer district. I will continue to be available for comments and questions and look forward to being present for a future town hearing and recommend a separate presentation meeting with the village and Goshen board. This is a big decision and should be a collaborative effort between the village and town of Goshen. I look forward to taking part in this process and seeing the greater Goshen community benefit from the collective efforts of the residents, volunteer, and officials in this room. Sincerely, Assemblyman Brian Mayer. Couple of quick items. The purpose of us asking to become a tax district is to advance to the advanced life support level. We're all basic life support responders here, which brings us, only limits us to certain things that we can do. Once we get to the ALS, we have many more tools at our advantage, and we'll be able to provide better service. I'm sure some of you people here have used the ambulance service, and there are times when we really need that extra level of care. We're in a very unique spot here. It takes a long time for ALS to get here, if they're available at all. We've had times where we could wait 20 minutes for a paramedic to show up, or if a paramedic shows up at all. So it's one of those things, when we want a paramedic, we need a paramedic. They don't have to ride on every call, but they need to be available when we need them. This is not only a problem in this area, it's a problem throughout the county, throughout the state. One of the things that's in the works eventually is to declare EMS an essential service, but that's not something that's going to happen anytime soon, but it's something that's out there, which will put us on the same par with police and fire. As far as staffing, we would have paramedics available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. At this point, we don't have any plans to expand beyond as far as a building, but depends on what the territory brings and so on as we go forward. I've been with EMS for probably close to 45 years. I was an EMT for many, many years, EMT instructor. I worked for a large hospital system as their EMS coordinator. So I've seen the system develop, I've seen how it works, and the importance of having a good EMS system. Becoming tax districts gives us that opportunity to make that happen here, and I would appreciate your support for that.
Thank you.
Anybody else like to speak on behalf? Chris Ophelia, I know you got here late. I'm not sure you want to speak on the ambulance district or not.
Gotcha.
No, Mike.
Good evening, Chris Healy, Town of Goshen. Was the meeting at 7:30 tonight? How did I miss that? My mistake, I make so many meetings. We did talk briefly once before about the need, requirements for an ambulance and an ambulance district. I think one of the hallmarks of a civilized society, if you will, clean drinking water, safe environment, medical care. We're all getting older. If anybody has ever had the opportunity to unfortunately need an ambulance, seconds count. We talked about also the difference between basic life support and advanced life support. Basic life support is just that, it is very basic. In all my years in the service, my only saves, as I said before, was with an advanced life support system in place. The interventions of intravenous drugs to keep the heart moving. Look, I don't have all the answers, I don't know how we're gonna pay for it, but I really wanna live in a town with good ambulance service. You've got my vote. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chris. Anybody else?
Ed Dykeshorn, Goshen. I am the last of the original members. We formed the organization, the JCs, in 1973. Went into service in 74. Still doing it.
Thank you for your service.
Trying to ride off in the sunset, but it's not working that way. So anyway, I've been the treasurer for quite a few years. There were some questions about financing. I'm just going to give you, I just grabbed like the profit and loss sheet, balance sheet, up through September of this year, January through September. We've brought in total revenue in the first 9 months of $1,100,000 and some dollars. Again, the vast majority of that is insurance reimbursement, plus money to the town, the village, DASNY have given us. The same time period, we have expended in the same time period $1,300,000. So again, there's a few reasons for that. This year, in the past year, we did have to buy 2 ambulances. One we paid for outright, the other one we are financing. So altogether, we're running approximately $1.4, $1.5 million as we currently operate. Again, the last couple of years have really been just hectic. We always used to run 1 ambulance. We got to the point where we're just missing too many calls, or the time to get there. We currently now, my lieutenants and captains can, dwell on that further if they want, but we currently run 2 crews round the clock. We have to do that, so we're not missing calls. I think the last time we looked, we're averaging 9 to 10 calls a day, every day. Again, average. There's days where we've done 19 calls. Well, there may be days where we only do 7. You can't really schedule people to try to fit when people are going to have heart attacks. It doesn't work. So you have to be there. In addition to that, we're doing hundreds of transports home from the hospital. We have 5 nursing homes here. The companies that used to do it no longer do it. And if we can't get the patients out of the hospitals, we can't drop off patients in the ER because they have no room. So that's another whole service that on certain days, we schedule a 3rd ambulance for that. And again, the numbers are there. We are getting the reimbursements for that. So, that's kind of where we're at. The increase that we're looking for is basically a safety net, because right now, if we were not to get insurance reimbursement, we have roughly 2.5 months of money to run, to pay the salaries, to keep the rigs running. Again, years ago, we could have an ambulance for 15 years and end up with 30,000 miles on it. Going to Arden Hill back. Now we're going up to Middletown or farther, Warwick or whatever. So we're probably putting on 35, 40,000 miles a year just on the vehicles. And, it's taking its toll. So, training, equipment, all things that we have, we're up to date on everything. We miss very few calls. We do some, backups for other corps because they come and back us up if we have both ambulances out and we need a third one. So, again, it's just not like it used to be. It's just very busy. We're probably on course this year to handle close to 3,000 911 calls, plus the transports that we do. So, again, that's just a little bit of the basics. The tax money that we're looking for is going to, develop the ALS system. Parts of it will, cover replacement of the ambulances. I think that's kind of what we're looking at. I don't know if anybody has other questions. We can get you all the specifics,
I just have one question.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if we elevate to an ALS system, then the billing is a lot higher than the current billing that you have now, is that correct?
Yes, it would be.
And any insurance claims, I'm sure there are some rejections of insurance claims and so on and so forth. Will that be reduced because you do have ALS on the rig?
Well, currently, we had, Mobile Life was here for years.
Right.
They were always our ALS backup.
Right.
We had a very good working relationship with them. We had a very good billing relationship with them. What we did was we had contracts with them because in New York State, the insurance industry will only pay the transporting agency. So if you were to require ALS, you would have us and you would have one of the ALS units. And when we had a contract with Mobile Life, we agreed with them. They would charge us a certain dollar figure. We would bill it as ALS and take care of it. So our seniors, our Medicare, Medicaid patients would not get a second bill.
Right.
We have tried to do that. We have an agreement now with Blooming Grove. We were trying to work an agreement with Walkhill. Empress doesn't seem to be, who bought Mobile Life, doesn't seem to want to do it. So what we have had recently are, some complaints from people because they get our bill, the insurance company pays it, and then they turn around and get an ALS bill for $1,300 or $1,400 from the agency that did the ALS work that doesn't have a contract with us.
So now by doing that, we eliminate that whole process.
Exactly.
And we get billed, we bill directly as the ALS and get paid directly. There's no middleman, no contracts, no subcontracts. It's just us.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Let me just try to forget what we have already paid out. Through September, we have paid the ALS agencies $43,000. Just through September. The agencies that come and back us up.
Right, but now you will be.
We will not have that expenditure.
Right.
So again,
yeah.
The $450,000, might sound like a lot, but it really is just covering the additional manpower, vehicle, and, you know, the narcotic expenses and that.
On the 1.1 million that you currently bill, if that was in an ALS scenario, what would the percent increase be on that bill?
Not a real, Sue, any idea what,
I couldn't give an accurate number. I've been out of the insurance industry for 10 years.
right, okay.
So my concern would be, is 150,000 going to be enough? If you're already running at a $200,000 shortfall, and you're bringing on additional ALS people, I'm concerned for 100,000.
I have to say right now that the $200,000 shortfall, some of the software that we use to do the billing changed in the last 3 months.
So it was one time?
And we had problems with it. Normally, we are able to continue, make all our payments. I'm not gonna say we're gonna be able to buy a new ambulance next year, but, you know,
So
we're staying afloat.
the 1.3 million this year was just because of the software. Otherwise, you would have been.
And that money, now that we've straightened it out with the billing company and everybody else, that money should be coming
But you
back
should see
in.
an increase by going to ALS in that, on that bill, regardless of what.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
That's good, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Anything from the board?
The billing will be increased, to cover the additional expenses. It's a wash, but it sounds like we'll have much better service.
All right, as I said, we won't be closing this public hearing. We have other municipalities that have to weigh in on this, so we're gonna leave it whole open.
Supervisor, on the question of the municipalities, I have a comment. I'm Bill Moore, I'm in the town of Hamptonburg. I'm a 35-year member of Goshen Ambulance Corps, and I haven't responded in the last maybe 12, 15 years because of my age and disabilities. Back when my wife and I stopped responding, more than a third of the members of GOVAC were members, lived in the town of Hamptonburg. We ran the Corps, other than a few other members, right? And I am chairman of the Board of Fire Commissioners in Hamptonburg. And we're talking about distances away and everything else. Like I said before, my wife and I were Tuesday crew. I used to park the ambulance in my driveway at night. And we responded on Tuesday nights. And the question with ALS, like Ed just said, Mobile Life was always there. And we had no problem, we well dealt with them. Now there's major problems. Campbell Hall Fire Department, we used to respond to all medical calls until COVID came. And then after that, we haven't gone back to it. But a lot of the calls at the Hamptonburg, at the Campbell Hall Healthcare. And they make a lot of money. GOVAC makes a lot, Goshen EMS, excuse me, makes a lot of money on Hamptonburg for the nursing home. And we have nobody else in this end, our end of town. So hopefully something can be worked out on that. But I'm just letting you know what the people in Hamptonburg did for Goshen all those years.
Understood. I mean, nobody's looking to cut them out. Everybody's just looking for everybody. If the residents of the town of Goshen are going to be assessed a fee on a yearly basis to cover the ambulance,
Yes, I understand.
and there are residents in the town of Hamptonburg, then they're going to have to cover the same thing. That's what our conversation with Supervisor Chief House is going to be. Nobody, I believe, is saying that we're going to leave anybody out. No. Not what we're saying.
Okay, thank you.
All right, moving on.
Should we set a date for the next
You
hearing?
can't.
Continuation?
The village of.
Well, you could put it on any agenda, it's open, so you don't
Right,
need to
so-
renotice
right,
everybody.
right.
It's open, so if it turns out there's more information to provide, it's just informational, then it's informational. If it's
But
a-
I can't give a date in the future without knowing when the village of Goshen is going to weigh in.
You don't need to give a date. you don't need to give one yet.
Okay, so just leave it
Yeah,
open.
leave it
right?
open. Yeah, and then if the mayor from the Village of Goshen wants to come and that's part of the public hearing, then just add it to the agenda,
Exactly.
put it on the front end.
Okay.
Without, you don't have to notice it.
All right, very good.
So, to that point, I want to make something clear to everybody in the room. We're looking at a date of March 1st of 2025. That's the assessable date where this all has to be completed, all the different types of things that we have to do above and beyond that. So we do have time, but if we don't hit that assessable date, then you know, the money that would be starting to come in then would be moved off for another year. So it's really important. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? I'm not just saying we're for it, against it. We're going through this whole process now, but there is that assessable date that we have to be looking at. We have only one more meeting this year, right? That's December 12th.
Correct.
And then the next ones would be in January, so hopefully we can be
So yes, so
there.
in my conversations with the mayor, she said that she wanted to see how the public hearing went here, and that she would schedule something with her board and a public hearing in the village. Once the village and the town have weighed in, at that point, we can do something, but we still want to hear from the village of Chester, town of Hamptonburg, and other municipalities, the village of Florida. I did speak to the mayor in the village of Florida, we are to have a conversation also, but he wants to make sure that his residents that live in the town, live in the village of Florida, but are part of the town district are covered. So we'll try to wrap it up mid-January and then get back here. We're aware of the date. Okay, very good. Moving on, item number 2. Continuation of the revised introductory law number 10 of 2024, amending chapter 80B, solid waste management of the Code of the Town of Goshen to update provisions related to existing facilities. We've had a couple of public hearings on that. We've heard a lot from the public. Is there anybody else that would like to weigh in on this? Okay. So can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved. Second?
Can you roll call on that?
Yeah. Councilmember Bluefield?
Aye.
Councilmember Florio?
Aye.
Councilmember Lyons?
Aye.
Councilmember Cantorino?
Aye.
Supervisor Basser?
Aye. So this becomes local law number 11, correct?
Yes.
So this becomes local law number 11 of 2024. A motion to adopt local law number 11 of 2024, amending ADB chapter solid waste management of the Code of the Town of Goshen. Has a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Cantorino?
Aye.
Councilmember Lyons?
Aye.
Councilmember Florio?
Aye.
Councilmember Bluefield?
Aye.
Supervisor Basser?
Aye. Okay, next public hearing. Public hearing in the matter of increase in improvements of facilities of the Town of Goshen Consolidated Water District in the Town of Goshen in the County of Orange, New York, pursuant to section 202B of the town law. A public hearing has been called for this meeting at the Town Hall at 7 p.m. prevailing time to consider the increase and improvements of the facilities of the Town of Goshen Consolidated Water District, consisting of water treatment improvements in Hamiltonian Park area at the estimated maximum cost of $45,000 for engineering fees, and construction and improvement of Hamiltonian Park filtration system at an estimated cost of $1,686,893, as described in the map plan and report prepared for the town by engineer dated July 2023 and revised July 2024. Pump system improvements in Scotchtown Park area at the estimated cost of $184,777, as described in the map plan and report prepared by the engineer dated September 2024, and revised October 15, 2024, including the acquisition and installation of a generator, water booster system, and replacement of the flushing hydrant for the Scotchtown Park area. Construction of improvements to Arcadia Hills High House Water Treatment Plant at the estimated cost of $60,455, and the construction and improvements of Heritage Filtration System at the estimated cost of $252,873. Said maps, plan, and report have been filed with the town board, and the aggregated cost of the improvements has been estimated to be $2,230,000 as described in the map, plan, and report prepared by Delaware Engineering, DPC. And to hear all persons interested in the subject of, therefore concerning the same, and for such other actions on the part of the town board with relation to thereto as may be required by law. The town clerk presented affidavits showing the notice of public hearing and have been duly published and posted pursuant to provisions of Article 12 of the town. The hearing is said to be, matter was now open, and asked if there are any interested persons presented who'd like to be heard. I don't think anybody signed up for it.
I need a motion to open the public hearing.
Motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody want to speak?
Anybody from the public would like to speak on this
Yes.
consolidation? Any questions, concerns?
Come on up, Mr. Gallo.
Something.
I wasn't really keeping up with this, but the consolidation, does that now include all of the water districts in the town?
Yes.
Everybody signed into it or was forced into it. So this is going to be a bond issue, I imagine, and it's going to be broken up to each individual resident to pay their share and their taxes.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Bruce Thompson, Town of Goshen. Is there any consideration to include the Stonehenge district in that?
Stonehenge is included in it. Stonehenge is definitely part of the consolidated district. It's just that this ban, nothing has to be done in Stonehenge right now. That's part of phase 2.
Okay, thank you. So in the consolidated district now, we have 591 homes. And of course, the basis behind that whole thing is to broaden the base as much as we possibly can so that we can do a lot of these improvements that we're talking about tonight.
Okay.
Motion to close the public hearing?
Yes, so moved. Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
We have 2 resolutions. We just have to read that one in the order after the public hearing. So,
5 pages?
yeah.
Can I just say we're going to have 5 pages to it? 6 pages to it?
Oh, yeah.
I think the town clerk should read that. What do you think?
It's actually 4 pages.
No, this is it. All right, here we go. Resolution in order after public hearing. Whereas the town board of the town of Goshen in the county of Orange, New York, on behalf of the town of Goshen Consolidated Water District in the town, has caused Delaware engineers duly licensed in the state of New York to prepare a preliminary map, plan, and reports for the increase and improvements of facilities of the district, consisting of water treatment improvements in Hamiltonian Park at an estimated cost of $45,002 for engineering fees and construction and improvements to the Hamiltonian Park filtration system at the estimated maximum cost of $1,686,893 as described in the map, plan, and report prepared for the town by the engineer dated July 2023 and revised January 2024. 2, pump system improvements in the Scotttown Park area at the estimated maximum cost of $184,777 as described in the MAC plan and report prepared by the engineer dated September 2024 and revised October 15, 2024, including acquisition and installation of a generator, water booster system, and the replacement of a flushing hydrant for the Scotttown Park area. 3, construction of improvements to Arcadia Hills High House water treatment at an estimated cost of $60,455. And 4, construction and improvements to Heritage Filtration System at an estimated cost of $252,873. Said map plan and report have been filed with the town board, and the aggregate cost of the improvements has been estimated to be $2,230,000 as described in the map plan and report prepared by the engineer, and said map plan and reports have been filed with the town board. Whereas aid or grant funds may be received to pay part of the cost of said project, and any aid or grant funds received are authorized to be used to pay part of the cost of the project or pay part debt service of any bond note issued pursuant to the projects. Whereas on October 24, 2024, the town board adopted an order describing in general terms the proposed increase and improvements of the facility, specifying the estimated cost thereof, and stating the town board would meet to hear all persons interested in said increase and improvements of facilities on November 14, 2024, 7:00 p.m. prevailing time, or as soon as possible thereafter. Whereas a notice of such public hearing was duly published and posted pursuant to the provisions of Article 12 of the town law. Whereas such public hearing was duly held and conducted by the town board in substantially the matter provided in the notice of such public hearing on November 14, 2024, at 7 p.m. With considerable discussion on the matter having been had and all persons desiring to be heard have been heard, including those in favor of, those opposed to, said increase and improvements of such facilities. Whereas the town board, as lead agency pursuant to State Environmental Quality Review Act, SEQR, constituting Article 8 of the Environmental Conservation Law and 6 NYCCRR Regulation Part 617, has given due consideration to the impact that project described herein may have on the environment, and has determined that the project will result in any significant adverse environmental impact. Now, therefore, on the basis of the information at given hearing, it is hereby determined that it is the public interest to increase and improve the facilities of the district as herein above described, and at the estimated maximum cost of $2,230,000, and it is hereby ordered that the facilities of the district shall be increased and improved, and that the engineer heretofore retained by the town board shall prepare plans and specifications and make a careful estimate of the expenses for said increase and improvements of such facilities, and with the assistance of the town attorney shall prepare a proposed contract for such increase and improvements of the facility of the district, which plans and specifications estimate and proposed contract shall be presented to the town board as soon as possible, and it is hereby further ordered that the expense of said increased improvements of facilities shall be financed by the issuance of a $2,230,000 bond of the town to finance said appropriation. And the cost of said increase in improvements of facilities, including payment of principal and interest on said bonds, shall be paid by the assessment, levy, and collection of assessments upon the several lots and parcels of land within the district, based on a facility fee calculated annually by determining the amount of fixed cost of operation divided by the number of existing and future users within the district, as described in the resolution adopted by the town board on January 25th, 2024, to be collected in the same manner and at the same time as the town charges, and is hereby further ordered that the town clerk record and cause to be recorded certified copy of the resolution in order. That was long-winded.
Just a little bit more after the public hearing.
Yeah,
in the
I'm getting
office
to
of the clerk. Sorry, Joe.
After the public hearing in the office of the clerk of Orange County within 10 days after the adopted thereof. Motion to approve the resolution in order after public hearing. Motion to approve the bond resolution of the town.
No, sorry. Motion to accept the resolution that Joe just read into the record.
So moved.
Second.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call.
Councilmember Cantorino?
Aye.
Councilmember Lyon?
Aye.
Councilmember Florio?
Aye.
Councilmember Bloomfield?
Aye.
Supervisor Petra?
Aye.
And now I need the
Motion to approve the bond resolution of the town of Goshen appropriating $2,230,000 for increases and improvements of facilities at the town of Goshen Consolidated Water District, and authorizing the issuance of bonds in the principal amount of $2,230,000 to finance said appropriation. Can I have that motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
Roll call. Councilmember Bloomfield.
Aye.
Councilmember Florio.
Aye.
Councilmember Lyons.
Aye.
Councilmember Cantorino.
Aye.
Supervisor Petra.
Aye. So then, Mary, all three of these things now that
They
we
go
got,
to the bond company.
they're all taken care of?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, first I'm on the agenda, authorize the preparation of an RFP for traffic study in connection with the SSFA grant and comprehensive plan. Sean, we'll turn it over to you.
Sure. I'll be glad to use microphone. Thank you. So as the board is aware, the Comprehensive Plan Committee is moving forward. They've had a number of meetings since formation, and they're starting to delve into some deeper topics, including traffic. And you may recall that the 2009 Comprehensive Plan relied upon two traffic studies that were prepared in 2006 and 2008. And a lot has changed since then. And the Comprehensive Plan Committee has identified, obviously, traffic as a broad issue affecting growth within the town and also zoning. And they've asked for an update to those studies, which makes sense. Separately from the Comprehensive Plan Committee, the town received a grant, a federal grant, SSFA grant, Safe Streets for All grant, approximately $239,000. And there's a lot of overlap between that grant, the federal grant, and the study, the traffic study that the Comprehensive Plan Committee requires. So it makes sense to kind of merge those and prepare one traffic study that addresses both the Comprehensive Plan Committee needs and also the SFFA grant requirements. In contacting Federal Highway Administration, they've indicated that under what's known as the Brooks Act, you need to select a consultant based on a bidding process, if you will. As such, I'm here this evening to ask you to authorize preparation of an RFP, and that RFP will be utilized to meet the requirements of Federal Highway under the grant and seek proposals from different professionals for a traffic study.
Question, since the planning board already has a traffic consultant, there's no way to waive that?
No, we looked into that and we discussed with Federal Highway whether we could allow that. That's what they call an on-call consultant. They would allow that if that on-call consultant has recently submitted a bid in an RFP process, which they have not. They've been a consultant for quite some time.
Okay. Yeah, that's because of this Brooks Act that we just realized would be in effect on this particular project. So.
So do we need a motion now to
Yes.
allow you to? Any questions? Anybody?
No,
I agree.
we went over the date over morning this
Yeah, so
morning.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Second it? Roll call?
Sure. Councilmember Bloomfield.
Aye.
Councilmember Florio.
Aye.
Councilmember Lyons.
Aye.
Councilmember Cantorino.
Aye.
Supervisor Petra.
Aye. Thanks, Sean, appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Sean. Just a matter.
So you're heading out, you don't need to be here for the solar thing?
Solar thing was postponed
Oh, okay.
Good night.
to the next meeting.
Okay.
Thank you, Sean.
Yes, thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda, review and approve the water sewer rate for 2025. Christine has a presentation that she did for us.
You can go back. I know. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead. As you know, the 4 water districts were consolidated into one administrative district to improve the service and water quality to all residents. The 2 sewer districts were also consolidated into one administrative district, also to improve the service to all residents. The projects that are under the water ban bond anticipation note, which is a loan, the Hambletonian Green Sand Filter System, the Scotchtown Water Booster System and Generator, and the Arcadia High House Water Treatment Plant repairs. The anticipated loan amount is $2,230,000. This does not include the funds that we will be receiving from state grant or the cash bond that we have from the developer. So that's all the expenses that total the amount of the ban, and the funds available, 200,000 grant and 151,000 performance bond. So if you take the ban principal of 2,230,000, divide that by 30 years, would give an annual principal payment of $74,333. An approximate 4% interest would be $89,200, for a total annual payment of $163,533. Divided that by the 591 homes, comes out to $277 annual cost per home, or $69 quarterly per home. So using those figures, for the water, you'll see the facility fee increased from $67.26 to a proposed $136.26. The usage fee from $7.25 to $8.25, and that's just to cover, we have had a lot of repairs last year and this year. In terms of sewer, the rates are remaining the same. And just to give you an idea, about 50% of the users use between 7,000 and 15,000 gallons per quarter, 25% use under, and 25% use over. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, wait, he's getting rid of the mic. Oh. So the sample, water bills for 5,000 gallons, if you have water and sewer service, would be approximately $332 a quarter. If you have water only, $177 a quarter, and so on, based on your usage. And just a reminder, if your home has the new cellular meter installed, please create your Ion Water account. You can download the app or visit ionwater.com, and also download the Goshen Connect app for townwide updates.
Thank you, Christina. Any questions from the board?
No.
Okay, so can I have a motion to approve the water sewer rates for 2025?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Cantorino.
Aye.
Councilmember Lyon.
Aye.
Councilmember Florio.
Aye.
Councilmember Bloomfield.
Aye.
Supervisor Petra.
Aye.
Oh, sorry, and those would be effective January 1st.
January 1st, correct. Next item on the agenda is to review and approve the water sewer tax rate re-levy in the amount of $221,027.92. Any questions? No? Can I have that motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll
I
call.
need a roll call. Yeah. Councilmember Cantorino.
Aye.
Councilmember Lyon.
Aye.
Councilmember Florio.
Aye.
Councilmember Bloomfield.
Aye.
Supervisor Petra.
Okay. Review and adopt the preliminary budget of 2025.
Christine had done some revisions for the JRC budget and water sewer. Right. So we're gonna be including them in your adoption tonight.
Does anybody would like Christine to explain what was changed?
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put her on the spot.
Yeah.
Come on, it's the last time you have to do this.
I'll sit here. There you go. Okay. For joint rec, we originally, the town budgeted $125,000 for their share for joint rec, and then that was revised to $100,000. So joint rec had to in turn revise their budget, showing that decrease in their income, which they did.
And
So-
if you don't mind, I'll explain that.
Mhm.
It's a reduction that was made because we increased their budget by $25,000 when they were looking to hire a full-time administrator to run Park and Rec. That has since changed, so rather than keep the money in Park and Rec, I pulled it back to the town board, the $25,000, and we can revisit it if they decide at some point that they need that full-time person.
Okay, and then on the sewer, originally, I thought we were going to decrease the rates, but then we did not, just because of some upcoming repairs that are planned. So the sewer rates are staying the same, so now I had to revise the revenues and then the income to reflect that. And then for water, I didn't have the final water rate figures until now, so I had to revise the water SWC budget as well. And that's it.
Any questions from the board? No. So can I have a motion to adopt the preliminary budget of 2025?
So then,
Second. Roll call?
Bill Wentworth?
yeah.
Councilmember Angelino?
Aye.
Councilmember Lyon?
Aye.
Councilmember Florio?
Aye.
Councilmember Bloomfield?
Aye.
Supervisor Lettero?
Aye. Next item on the agenda is to review and approve the 2025 capital plan and multi-year financial plan. It's a plan that's required by our bond company. We just went through that assessment, and I said a couple of meetings ago, I'm happy to say that we are still a AA+ rating, the only town in Orange County, other than the county, you said? I think that's what you
Possibly.
said. So we're proud of that. That's something, many years in the working that this town board has worked on to maintain that. So we want to keep that same thing. Any questions on that capital plan?
Yeah, that's the sheet there, right, the future plan?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
I wanted to speak to one of the issues on it, and that is the $10 million that's on this for the commercial water district out on 17M. And as I've said in the past, I'm very concerned about the road. The road seems to be like an F now, but that's maybe a smaller point. But I'm really, really concerned about high-density residential housing. And I think where we're going with this is we're going down a road where there's going to be copious amounts of water and sewer, and guess what's going to happen? When you build it, they come. And I don't want that to happen. So as far as I'm concerned, at this particular point, I'm not saying no to it. I'm saying I need a lot more information before I'm going to buy into something like that. So I'm good with all the rest of the stuff, but the 10 million for that, I'm not.
Without additional information.
Correct. Correct, additional information. And then there was one other thing, again, a minor thing, I think it's just a matter of doing it. There's the equipment for highway. We have 300,000, going to 400,000, 400,000. I guess I just need to know what we're purchasing, and as I heard, I guess from Mary, I guess we're looking to no longer purchase stuff, we're looking to lease stuff, so therefore the cost would be less.
The cost is drawn out over
All
the
the
term.
time,
Yep.
right.
Exactly.
So I'm good with that. I think we need the equipment as far as the DPW is concerned, but I don't have any idea of what actually we're purchasing, and I'd like to know what we're purchasing.
I don't know, Christine, do you have that? I think it's just the allocation on what we have every year, and then Rod comes in front of us.
Right, exactly.
So it's just a dollar amount, George?
In the past few years, it's been 400,000. But then this year, we had lowered it, because you had mentioned talking about leasing, but then I just bumped it up a little, just to kind of plan ahead of time, you know? This will change with it, you know, through the year, every year. It's just kind of to keep it top of mind as a conversation, something to look at when we are doing the budget for the next year as well.
These are just forward projections. as to what
Exactly,
we're thinking.
nothing's set in
It's
stone.
almost like a strategic plan.
Right.
I did one back almost 20 years ago. I did a 5-year plan when I first got on the board. Took like 8 years. What you do is you take the historical data, and then you extrapolate the figures, and you figure out what's going to happen for the next 5 years, and so on and so forth. So this is not a budget that we're passing. It's just, and George is right, we need to get the information. If we're making that projection, what's that based on? So, just to explain it a little. Yeah.
There was, I'm sorry, you done?
No, I'm done.
Okay, so I just wanted to make another point, though. You know, the reason why this commercial district was being formulated is because of the likes of Healy and the likes of Milmar. I mean, those are existing businesses that we want to keep, and we want to see them grow. So those people have to be addressed. But I just didn't want to get it to the point where it was copious amounts and who knows what's going to happen out there. But the people that are out there need some water services, and I just like to downsize it, I guess.
So, just to put you at ease, George, I think that's a sentiment that we all have relative to multifamily housing and not wanting to potentially have it. So we are working with the engineer and the attorneys to determine how we could kind of zone out any residential within this district. It can't be per se a commercial-only district because you have residential dwellings in that district. So we are working on that, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's not something that we're looking to have part of this district. But we do have to advance the economic growth in order for our tax dollars to not be a burden of just the residents. Therefore, we need to work on this.
Well, just so you know, in our master plan, we really drilled down on the commercial districts and what's going to be allowed and not allowed. We have new mapping, so that's the portion of this updated master plan that we're in right now. And taking almost every single meeting, that seems to be the high point. So we understand what's going on, and we're due diligence on this here today.
All right, so I need to approve the 2025 capital and multi-year financial plan.
Yeah, so moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call?
Yeah.
Councilmember Bloomfield.
I have concerns, but aye.
Councilmember Florio.
Aye.
Councilmember Lyons.
Nay.
Councilmember Caterina.
It's a projected plan, it's not anything definite, it's just what we're thinking, which will be adjusted as we go on. So I'm gonna vote aye, so we can get a cap, but we need it.
Right, and
Because New York State says we have to have
We
one,
have to have
so we've gotta do one.
Supervisor Becker.
When it comes to fruition or not, is something
yeah,
else.
I just want to say,
Yeah.
I only listed it on the left as a proposed project. I did not put any cost on the right side, you know, the cost for each proposed year.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, we're good.
Next item on the agenda, review and authorize the supervisor to sign the host community benefit agreement with IWS Transfer Station of New York Incorporated. Any questions, concerns?
Yeah. I continuously, I just want to clarify something. Is that town attorney is in the back?
Yeah.
Okay, just to clarify. In this preliminary narrative, it states in this host agreement that currently they are working on a DEC permit, and you've heard this before a number of times, but I just want clarification and understanding so it goes on record. So they have been working on, we have not issued a permit. Our permit was for 439, or 390,
390,000.
yeah, I don't have my glasses on. And 70,000 of recyclables. So the DEC issued them a permit of 600,000 plus 70,000 recyclables, which I understand. They have asked the DEC if they could trade in those recyclables and make it all municipal waste, a total of 670,000. Now, I understand that they're gonna have to come to us for a permit, and we're gonna decide what we think is fair. But I would think, and this has been going on for a while, and I know they're aware of it, I think, Joe, you probably talked to them, or they've been watching the videos, that my feet are really planted on not increasing the total municipal waste and putting it all in one pile and just making it 600,000 as the DEC had approved and 70,000 recyclables. In this agreement, I would think maybe, even though this is not the agreement that says what they're gonna get, I would think that they would have modified their request to the DEC, in fairness to them, modified their request and said, okay, it sounds like there might be some controversial part of this on one or some of the board members. We're only gonna ask for 600,000 plus 70,000 recyclables. But that's not in this particular host agreement. And I'm really concerned that the host agreement has not been modified. It's just, well, they asked for it, and really, it will hold them up. Because I'm gonna tell you, I told you, I'm not, that's one vote, maybe somebody else on the board. But I'm not gonna agree to allow them to do additional municipal waste and not do the recycling. So that's where I wanna.
With this being a topic at the last meeting, I reached out to the CEO, Mike DeBello, and Mike Morangi, and I asked for an explanation on that. And the reason that they're asking for the modification is because they aggregate all of their recyclables at the county landfill and then move them from the county landfill to a facility in Rockland County that they do all of their processing of recyclables for. That's where their MRF is, that takes and separates the plastic, separates the metals, and then sends it out to be sold or what have you. So that's the reason why they're asking for the increase in municipal solid waste, because they have 70,000 tons that they're not collecting at that facility anymore, because it's going to the Orange County landfill.
So I think then we should limit their tonnage to 600,000, that's it. If they're not doing the recyclables, I don't see why.
Well, but they are, that's the point, they are doing the recyclables, it's just that it's being aggregated at the county landfill, because they do all the processing for the county. So why move it to two spots, why move it to Hartley Road in their facility and then take it from there over to the county? They just their trucks go into the county and dump there. They have a separate recyclable truck that goes out to collect the waste. It's not part of the municipal solid waste.
I understand, so if it goes directly to the county, why do they need additional solid waste to go into this?
Because the towns are generating the waste.
The way it sounds to me is, they want 670,000 of waste, and then the recyclables, whatever they collect, will go to the county. In addition. So they're really looking for an increase, period, without all the, forget about the municipal.
There's no doubt they're doing that,
They're
because
looking for an increase.
the waste is here though, that's the problem, the waste is here. I mean,
Yeah, I understand.
you'll get to see them when they come in front of the ADB. I asked them to make an entire presentation.
That's good. I was
Show
gonna
them,
ask
show
that.
their MRF, show their facility.
Okay.
It's very top of the line facility down there. It does all the
I
separations.
understand, but I just don't want more garbage coming in. What's gonna happen now is we're gonna have an additional 70,000 tons of garbage coming into Goshen. And I don't wanna see that.
I also asked them
Yeah.
I also asked them in their presentation to have the demographic of where the garbage is coming from. It's not coming in from out of county, it's all county garbage.
Well, landfill, I mean, Orange County landfill takes in garbage also, right?
Correct, yeah.
So
And they manage it for they manage it for the county. So they move all the garbage out, they move all the municipal
Right.
solid waste and the recycling out. Yeah.
All I'm saying
But
is
they will
yeah.
come in.
Yeah,
And as Kelly said, this
yeah.
agreement has nothing to do with the ADB, it's just an agreement.
I understand, but what I'm saying to you is, you know, based on my objection, I thought maybe they would change their request, but they're going straight on and want just an additional 70,000.
Because I think that they
of
have
garbage
cause for
brought
it, and
in.
I think that when you see it, you'll see the reason why they have cause for it.
All right,
In the presentation, when they come in front of us.
Well, fine, maybe we should hold this agreement till the presentation, or is there a problem?
We need to move the process along.
For?
For the planning board, for the construction of their site, it's being held up right now. But this.
No, just changing the ADB holds it up. The host agreement is totally separate.
Right, the host
That has
agreement is
nothing
over.
to do with whether they can operate or not.
Yeah, but George says he will not do anything on the ADB until we have the $200,000 in hand.
Right. And
So I need the
so
host
now what
agreement
you're
on it.
saying
Yeah.
is, that's what I've been waiting for you to say to me,
Yeah.
is in order to get to 200,000, Phil, you have to
Correct.
sign
We
this.
have to sign the agreement and then lock in the $1 per ton, then they can come in front of us to the ADB, and that's when you can
Okay.
start your.
There we go. I'm good, as long as we have.
George, you have anything?
No, what I was just gonna say was that, this is one agreement, and we had great length with Kelly being here, that just because this information is in the host agreement.
And nothing to do with the ADB.
And I understand what Phil is saying, it says it right there, and that can be really confusing, but this is not the last call. We're getting
I understand.
another shot at them, and then that's, I think, where we're gonna be able to get to the point where you are.
I do understand, but if they were going to conform to what my thought would be, as to not bring additional garbage, then maybe they would have made a modification to the DEC, because I've made it clear for many, many meetings that I'm not going to roll over and give them
Keep
an additional
in mind, there's no
7,000.
petition in front of the DEC, they were approved 10 years ago for that Whitland.
What, don't they have to request?
No, they're coming to us for the,
No, they're going to the DEC to convert the.
just the 70,000 tons.
70,000
Yes.
tons?
Right, yes.
It's
correct.
all, this is all about additional tonnage coming into Goshen, period.
Correct.
So, you know, if we're gonna have the same amount of recyclables, and I don't know if we are, now, they may not collect any recyclables.
No,
And bring it down
they're
to-
bound to collect recyclables.
I don't know what they're bound to do or not.
Well, I have them in my house, I have a recyclable bin.
Oh, so do I, and I know the village recycles.
Yeah.
So if they're not,
So does
if they're
IWS.
gonna take straight,
So does county waste. Everybody in Orange County is required to recycle.
I understand.
Now, that doesn't mean you recycle.
No, I recycle.
I know I do too. I'm not saying everybody here doesn't. Now, I've seen plenty of times where you have bottles and cans in the regular garbage.
So in order to
5
move
cents,
this.
you gotta return.
What's that?
Yeah, that's 5 cents a piece. You gotta return. Yeah, I absolutely do.
Oh, I can do
And
that.
I'm
See,
very
but
proud of
I
it.
wonder if my wife is watching, ask her about returning them.
So to expedite the process,
This is-
it's collected 200 tons. I understand quite clearly, believe me.
You're gonna get a full run at the ADB.
I'm getting, okay, so
All right.
here we go. All right.
So can I have that motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
Roll call?
Roll call. Councilmember Bloomfield.
Aye.
Councilmember Florio.
Aye.
Councilmember Lyons.
Aye.
Councilmember
Well,
Cantorino.
they have 3 already, so I'll say aye.
Supervisor Gattaro.
Okay,
Aye.
they've got the
Well,
core.
started down here, so you could have.
I should have
Sure,
started
that's
with you.
smart, you started at the other end. And it's an end run.
All right, so next item up is to review and approve the town board minutes October 24th, 2024.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
To review and approve the town board minutes for October 30th, 2024.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Attached is the review and accept the resignation of Al Vasquez, part-time police officer. I think Al is moving to sunny Florida. Going to be a legal police officer somewhere down in Florida.
So I'll make a motion to accept the resignation and request that a letter be sent, and thank you for his services.
Second.
All in
George.
favor?
You're on the game tonight, though. You're on the game.
Roll call.
No.
He's gonna leave us whether you're.
Yeah.
He left. Already
We're making it formal, we probably don't even need it.
So,
If you go ahead.
Next item, you don't have it on the agenda, it's just for me to discuss with the town. It's sad to me to say that Doug Bloomfield, after many, many years of service to this town, has decided to retire at the end of the year. So I'll take enjoy his retirement, do some more walking. So he has asked that he had tendered his not resignation, but retirement effective December 31st, 2021. I can only say in the 3 years that I worked with him, he has been amazing to me. He's helped me tremendously. I thank him for staying on when I got elected supervisor, and I will sadly miss him as being on the board, but not miss him coming in to have coffee and donuts with us.
Okay.
Bill?
Yes. So Doug Bloomfield, when he was elected supervisor, just after that, I received a call one evening in my home. I'm talking 20 years ago. I can't believe it. And he said, someone had given me your name. I had been on the board for about 12 years before that, but I wasn't a member. And you know the routine, and I understand you have a financial background. Would you be interested in coming on the town board? So at that point, I came down. I had never met Supervisor Bloomfield, and I said yes. I'm talking about 20 years ago. I started with a working colleague, and for 20 years, I have had such a good, loyal friend. I mean, he is not just a working colleague. He is a close friend of mine, whom I respect more than I can even say. He cares for people. He's dedicated to what he does. If he tells you something, take it right to the bank. And I've probably never met a nicer man. So I just want you to know that
Thank you.
Cherish your friendship.
Thank you.
Like you couldn't believe.
Yeah.
Sorry to see you go.
George, next.
Okay.
Yes, Doug, all of what Phil said and a little bit more now. Thank you for your Army service, Vietnam vet, especially with Veterans Day just passing, and also your work as a supervisor of the town of Goshen. There's two quotes that I always got a kick out of from Doug. In fact, he said it. He said tonight, right before the meeting. The number one was, pay as you go, or we don't go. And secondly, I'm as tight as the bark on a tree. And those are two quotes that we lived with for at least 16 years. And except for a couple of the early years till Doug got his footing, the tax rate just continually dropped. And it dropped quite a bit. I mean, I think, may have not the exact dates, but it was something like in 2020, Doug had said at the budget meeting that we were paying less taxes now than what we were paying in 2013. So there was a continual drop, and I kind of like that. The second thing I think I want to touch base is on Legoland. And it was quite a controversial project for those of you who have been around. And Doug was supervisor. Boy, did he take a lot of hits. And not only did he take a lot of hits, some of those hits were very, very personal. But, he said, another one of his quotes, he said, I was well over 6 feet at one time. And after the pounding I took on all of these different things, especially Legoland, I'm the size that you are now, like 5'3" or whatever. So that's another funny thing with him. But he persevered through the project. The project got done. So, Doug, you were a great supervisor. God bless, and best of luck in your retirement. So I have two mementos for you. The first one is a booklet on Legoland. So you can read that at his leisure.
The second thing, I think I have it correctly, Doug was born in Goshen in 1941. And so I dug this out of my treasures because Doug loves old stuff. This is Goshen in 1952.
Oh, wow.
Passed out. So I hope you enjoy it.
Good. Thank you, George.
Thank you.
He was looking for a check, George.
I'm as tight as the bark on a tree.
There you go. You know, I've only been on the board a short time, and my first 4 years was with you as supervisor, and I did learn a lot throughout that process. And you know, I really liked your stories about the Vietnam stuff that we talked about, because you know my dad was a vet also, and I think you guys were there around the same time.
Yes.
So all that stuff, you know, and your stories about DuPont, all I'll always remember. I'll always remember about DuPont. And thank you all for, you know, all you taught me. I really do appreciate and respect everything you've done.
You're quite welcome. You know, it's interesting, when you go to the university or wherever you're going to go and you try to get a degree and then apply it wherever, you know, like DuPont Chemical Company, I'm a physical scientist and a biologist. But when it comes to budgeting, I got it from my mother. Okay? When I went to the C.J. Hooker School, in 6th grade, lunch was 27 cents. And my mother would put a quarter and 2 pennies. She never put a quarter and a nickel or a quarter and a dime. That was one thing where I learned. The other thing is when I went to work for DuPont, okay, I was being interviewed and they say, we're in business to make money. Okay? And so you have to offset escalation every year. So if it cost $1 a pound to make the product this year, it has to be the same next year. I said, okay. And if you can't, you're going to be in the outside looking in. No, you got my attention. But then they said, but if you more than offset it, you're going to get promotions and bonuses like you never thought possible. I said, where do I sign? So money speaks. But anyway, I've enjoyed working with the boards. I guess altogether it's 22, 23 years. Because I'm under councilman before I became supervisor. I'm a supervisor for 16 years, and now I'm on my 3rd year afterwards. And the reason why I'm retiring is I don't like to be talking this way, but I'm going to be 83 years old January 4th. And you know, it's time to retire. And so that's what I'm going to do. And I have 4 grandchildren and a daughter, and they're all in the South. You know, Tennessee, Mississippi, different places. And so, I don't know what I'm going to do with my cat while I'm gone, but I guess I'm going to farm her out to someone.
Never said you would watch one.
But you know, but I would like to spend more time with my family in the latter years. So, and thank the public, honest to God, the public's been wonderful. I really do. I mean, I used to say I was 6'9". My ass to the ground, 5'8½". So, but that's just the way things are. Just the way things are. But thank the board and everybody and the citizenry. It's been wonderful.
So, that brings me to my next item that is not on the agenda. With Doug leaving, I had to choose a replacement. I had some requests from different people out and about in the town. I felt it was important to, the next person sitting on the board, it would be important for them to represent the water and sewer district. So I leaned on my good friend over there, Melissa Gallo, said, how would you like to come back? And she graciously said, yes, I would love to take and fill Doug's spot for a year and come back to the board. So I am requesting that the board approve Melissa Gallo as councilwoman beginning January 1st, 2025.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call?
Yeah, hold on one second.
And then motion to adopt the resolution.
This is a motion to adopt the resolution.
Yep.
Councilmember Gunther?
Absolutely, yes.
Councilmember Florio?
Aye.
Councilmember Lyons?
Aye.
Councilmember Cantorino?
With pleasure.
Supervisor Petra?
Same here, with pleasure.
I'm not writing that.
All right, next on, finance. Discuss and approve a motion to authorize the supervisor to pay accounts payable check run November 14, 2024 in the amount of $303,836.68.
So moved.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Information attached, Budget Officer Cavallari submitted an AP review for 10/24/24 and a monthly financial report for a period ending August 31st, 2024. Any questions on it? Changes to it? No? All right, so,
Post is here.
yep,
You ready for it?
yep, she's next up.
The chief asked me to loosen up the crowd for him, so. Let me write it.
All right, Murphy's Law. You know things with someone's
John?
No, he's talking to someone who knows his,
He's on the clock, it's 10 minutes to start.
Does anybody want to start privilege of the floor?
You gotta close the public hearing first, you gotta close with the town board meeting.
No, not close it.
He's coming, he's coming.
Chief
Now you
Post,
gotta do crowd work, chief, all right?
Mary says you got 2.5 minutes.
Am I the last item?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes you are,
That
before
was
privilege of the
minutes.
floor. So you're up, so in case the audience, the residents have any questions for you.
Oh, we're gonna do, I'm gonna talk about old business, new business, my PD, and then I'm gonna take questions. You know what we're doing? I know it's late.
Now, you're gonna talk about what you have to talk about, then we're gonna have privilege of the floor, and at that point, they can ask you any questions.
All right, it's been a couple months since I've been in here for a report, so I'm gonna give you a report on old business. Part-time officer resigning in good standing, Al Vasquez, we already talked about that.
Yeah.
He's gonna be he already is, Broward County Sheriff, down in Fort Lauderdale. We lost a good one with Al Vasquez, former state police, good guy. You're gonna hear a lot of good news here. Election day, no incidents reported. Halloween, no incidents reported on Halloween day or the night before. We had a trunk or treat at the PD, first time ever, huge success. A lot of people came out, tried to wipe us out of candy and they couldn't do it, and popcorn. The Jewish holidays, High Holy Days, Rosh Hashanah, no incidents to report for any of the holidays. We partnered with the state police Halloween night. We did a DWI road check. I don't know if anybody saw it. Tried to avoid it. It was just outside of town on South Street, outside of South Street, on the border with the village. Partnered with the state police and also village police. We have a very good partnership with our village police. We received a tech grant a long time ago for technology. I'll go into more of that later. That's old business. On to new business. Town board members, you might notice some of my officers with beards this month, growing beards, looking scraggly. It's not because we're not paying enough money to them. They can afford razors. It's an O-Shave November. So we're raising money they're raising money to fight colorectal cancer. That's the charity they chose. The goal is $600 this month. They're over halfway there. They're gonna hit me up, and I'm not a big fan of No Shave November, but they wanted to do it. They're gonna hit me up again in December for Double Down December. That is a thing. We'll see how the donations go. New business also, hunting season is small game season right now, and it's early bow season. Regular deer season, or rifle season, starts Saturday, this Saturday, a couple days. We have a mobile radar speed trailer. If anybody's seen it, we got it out on Pumpkin Swamp Road right now. If anybody wants it in their neighborhood, contact us by phone or email to request it in your area. It's pretty good deterrent. Today we happen to do our DOT checkpoint today, commercial vehicles. Concentrated on the area of Gates Schoolhouse Road and Houston Road corridor. As Doug's going away, President. Got some good numbers today. Nigel Balgobin, he's the officer. He partners up with the state. And before the word gets out to all the truck drivers, they were able to they stopped 4 commercial vehicles. They put 4 commercial vehicles out of service, 28 violations with a total of 18 summons issued.
4 trucks and all of them out of service. Not good.
4. The word does get out. Even though they're hidden, right, Rick? Yeah. The word gets out, even though they're hidden behind the, I can't tell you where they're hidden. They're hidden. But the word gets out quick. It's all, there's networks, these truck drivers, they're smart. We're gonna pop up at 4 in the morning one day on a Saturday and see what happens. That's some new business.
Can I comment on that one though about Houston Road? We have built 4 subdivisions there in the last 10 years. Lots of children, lots of buses and so forth and so on. And I've seen these tri-axle trucks going up and down because they must, I don't know, the GPS, who's the shortest way to go or whatever. So anyway, I'm glad that the police department is making this happen before we have a bad accident between a school bus and a truck. Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome. Crime-related stuff, notable cases. We had a big animal neglect case. It's still ongoing. Nicknamed it Operation Cottontail. We seized a lot of rabbits and fowl, chickens, and really a rough search warrant, but we got a search warrant. We did that in town. That was a big case. Still ongoing. A lot of fraud-related incidents are being reported to us. Even today, we had one come in. If anybody out there feels like they're being defrauded or they got a weird call and they just don't feel right about it, just call us, please, anytime. If your gut is telling you something's wrong, give us a call right away. Accidents are up in October, 19 more than there were in September, but that's mainly due to car, deer, animal actions. A lot of car, deer accidents. Mental health calls are up month to month. A couple of the group homes have been, right? A couple of the group homes have been, there's been a lot of calls. There's some violent stuff going on, but we're addressing that beyond just responding. We're addressing that with the people that run the group homes, the state. Special recognition should be paid to members who helped an elderly couple remove an unwanted snake from their basement in the ceiling. Rafters and wall, I guess. I don't know why, no, I don't know why they said elderly couple in here.
Elderly couple and snake, and you looked at me.
Look up for guidance.
Okay, don't look over here.
You wanted to see how much time you left on the clock.
I mean, I've been giving you this for
I'm
like
sorry,
3 minutes.
everybody. I'm sorry, everybody. You don't have to wait around for this.
I get paid, so you keep going.
Honestly. All right, I'm gonna go through it quick. Top 5 calls for October. My top 5 list. Animal complaint, excuse me.
You're doing a good job, Chief.
Thank you. Animal complaints of various types, 22. Welfare checks, 28. Go get a call, we gotta go check on somebody. Medical aid, 29. Aid in our EMS, GEMS, our Goshen EMS. Love them. Accidents, 40. Alarm calls, as usual, the highest, 42. One thing I do want to talk about, you guys, everybody knows about the fire out in Greenwood Lake that's been raging. About 2 days into it, you know, everybody knew how bad it was. I was on the phone with a supervisor, and you know, our Warwick PD is big and strong. Our neighboring PD in Warwick and Greenwood Lake, big, strong, very good PD, but I knew they needed help. So supervisor and I decided, and based on the supervisor's actions, he told me to give them whatever help they needed. So since Monday morning, we've been out there, assisting, helping out Warwick. I had 2 guys there up until, I think today, we pared it down to 1 guy. And it's quite a scene. I was out there all day, a couple days. I got to meet our governor, or see our governor.
We got many times.
Is it recorded?
Yeah.
I'll move on. But anyways, believe it or not, there's a statewide burn ban. Statewide burn ban. Today at 2:30, somebody had 8 fires going in the woods over here in town. 8 separate fires. And the guy was like clueless that there was a burn ban.
Or raging.
Not only did I yell at him, so did the fire department, but just clueless. So I wish more people, who's got Goshen Connect in here? Anybody? Not enough, not enough, not enough, so. Goshen Connect app, I'm always on Mary about it. I just saw on their website, they got the technology where it can be text now. So once people start getting texts, it's a lot better.
We just
So-
need their phone numbers.
Yeah, we need
People have
everybody
to
to sign
sign
up. So we're gonna start putting more stuff on Goshen Connect, and hopefully that will get it rolling, but tell your friends, tell your neighbors, and today's fire, we've had about 5 or 6 unauthorized burns in the last couple days. Unacceptable. We had 2 today. Somebody burning boxes, cardboard boxes.
Did they get a citation for that or no? There's no kind of,
Well, I called the building department, and Frank sent somebody out, they were there. Fire department wanted to give the guy a warning, but that's not, no warning. I'll talk to you about it tomorrow.
It's an emergency order by the county executive, they should get fined.
Yeah, it's a statewide, some people,
Well, at the top of the statewide ban, the county executive initiated a emergency order, no burning, so they should be getting fined.
8 little fires going, and I said, where's the water? And he had a bucket with a little bit of water.
What was he burning?
He was burning leaves, and twigs and trees that were falling.
18 mile an hour.
I got the pictures, who wants to see them? I was pretty upset. But anyways, let's see, what else do we got? On to the privilege of the floor.
Whenever you're ready,
What does that mean exactly?
We're gonna find out.
That means you'll sit down and you'll start getting darted with questions.
I'm getting hammered?
You may.
Anybody online gonna hammer me?
You'll be 5'3" by the time you're done.
Face to face.
All right, I'm ready.
Privilege of the floor.
Privilege of the floor.
They come up like that, you have to sit down.
Oh, I sit down.
You sit down, they come up.
Are you coming up, Bob?
Anybody coming up? Where's Bob? Come on up, Bob.
remember that face.
They got it on the cameras.
No,
Officer Goshen.
that's your license plate.
Yeah, you wish that's all they get. Chief, I had a number of questions about the license plate readers.
Yes, sir.
First of all, where does the information go? When you read a license plate, where does that information go?
Well, I mean, you're gonna ask a bunch of questions, and I'll talk about the license plate readers.
Yeah, maybe you can answer all those questions.
Yeah, ask me a bunch of questions, and
Okay.
I'll give a little presentation. Or do you want me to give a presentation
No,
about that?
I'd rather you just answer his question and then we have another one.
Where does it go? Goes, so any data we collect on that goes to a secure server up at the county building.
And who can get into that server? Who sees the license plates? It doesn't go any further than the county?
Yes, goes into it goes into a server at the county. Who can access it? Me and whoever I designate in the department.
And
Right now, it's me and the 3 sergeants.
But anybody else in another township can access that also? right?
So not yet, but once, it's all for law enforcement purposes only. I got a policy written up, you're welcome to read it. I prefer to foil it if you want a copy of it. The supervisor said I can give out copies if you want tonight. You can look at my policy, it explains everything about the LPRs.
I mean, ultimately, if there is a car that they're looking for, a plate they're looking for, and they know they're in the area, they would contact you, like Town of Montgomery, would they contact you and say, can you give us a read on XYZ 1, 2, 3, 4?
So right now, they would probably contact the Crime Analysis Center up at the county, the Intel Center. They will contact them, and then they will reach out for us. They don't have access to our cameras, so they're going to have access to us soon. They have access to all the LPRs, whether it's state LPRs, license plate readers in police cars, whether it's up and down the thruway, anywhere in the county, they have access to license plate readers. It's a database.
So any license plate that's read here will be available nationwide, statewide?
Any license plate that's captured here goes into a server, and if there's a law enforcement purpose to access it, as far as Goshen goes, Goshen, I have to give permission for that to be used. So, for example, there's a kidnapping in Middletown. They know it's a white Subaru, they don't know whose it is, but yet it comes down through Goshen, and we capture his license plate, and that leads to, that's needed in an investigation. We would provide that to Middletown Police.
So if you get the description as a white Subaru, you can go in and search for all white Subarus?
So I don't want to release all kinds of details about it, but you can search by type of vehicle, color of vehicle, partial plates, things like that.
So you're actually getting more than just the license plate, you're getting a picture of the car? Or at
I have
least
a sample of what we pick up if you want to look at it. Yeah, you get a picture of the car.
So it's more than a license plate reader?
Is that a question?
Well,
I mean, that's what it is. I'll tell you.
The
if you
intent is
leave
to read
your-
a plate.
If you
But
leave-
the intent is to read a plate, but you do get a picture of the rear end of the car. You can't focus in
It's,
just on the plate.
No, it's, when you leave your house, if you drive down the road, anywhere in this state or country, you're probably caught on a license plate reader. If you pass an Easy Pass, if you pass a police car, you're probably being captured. It's already proven technology, it's already all the way up to the Supreme Court, it's allowed.
Well, so far.
Maybe it can go beyond the Supreme Court, I don't know, but
We
it's
had
accepted,
a robbery in Goshen, and
If we
the
did, you're
person
saying we
was
did.
caught 2 states down.
Oh, right.
We also had an 82-year-old grandmother of 6, I believe she was, slightly dementia. Took off at 4:30 in the afternoon, couldn't find her. She hit a plate reader in Rockland County, and state police found her at 4 o'clock in the morning, shivering.
Well, how many, when did this go online?
What do you mean, when did I get these?
No, when did the plate readers in the town of Goshen start capturing information?
We got, I don't know what date exactly,
Well-
but about 6 months ago, we tried one. We just got a trial version of one, which we put on a pretty heavily traveled road. We got one, worked out great, we liked it, so we got 4 additional, so we got a total of 5 now. And we got 3 more coming, and we got 3 vehicles, mobile ones for the cars coming.
How many plates have you captured since the inception of this, do you know?
No. I know about 30,000 cars a day.
A day?
Per day.
Do you know how many of those are unique to the system?
One time car.
Right. You know, like, you get some cars. I mean, if you're on the right roads, you get hit all the time, right?
And that number, you could get hit, one car could get hit twice. Pick it up, if it's going slow, pick it up again. So those are rough estimates, but we have 5 cameras, we're getting about 30, up to 30,000 a day or more. That doesn't count Route 17.
Do you do Route 17?
No. It's done though, believe me, you're
Yeah,
captured.
well, I'm only concerned about the town of Goshen. Other people will do what other people do.
We don't have any live cameras, so we're not surveilling people with live cameras. We're not video watching people. We don't have the live where you sit there and you can watch.
So if somebody that was being sought, a plate that was being sought, so let's say you have a hot sheet, hot list. If somebody passed through one of your readers, how would you know that?
For example, if I had somebody threatening to shoot up a school and we put his plate in,
No, suppose someone from
a stolen car.
Sullivan
Yeah.
County that was on a hot sheet passed through one of your plate readers.
Well, we wouldn't know, we wouldn't get an alert on that unless we put it in. So let's say we had, let's say there was we wanted to find a plate. Somebody's bringing drugs into Goshen, which it does happen. People bring drugs into Goshen and sell. So let's say we identified the guy, we identified his plate. We could put a plate in, his or her, and we would get an alert if we put it in, wanting to be alerted when that person came into town. Is that what you're asking?
It was my understanding that there was a hot list. Somebody commits a robbery, they get a plate number. That's on a hot list. If that should enter the system someplace, it would pop up.
That might be true in a car, in the mobile ones, but we're not gonna get notified every time some other agency wanted a car. We would have to put it in our hot list. We wanted to know about it.
So if we have a car that we know about that has committed a crime, you enter it into the LPR for an alert?
If I wanted to be, if I had an investigation going, like I said,
Yep.
a drug dealer coming into town, let's say he comes in once a week, we're trying to catch him. If I put the plate in, we'll get an alert when that car comes into our town or hits on the camera.
So if a car was wanted in Rockland County for something, it wouldn't pop up here?
No. Rockland County would have to call Orange County and say, has this plate come across the camera?
Then you would search.
Right.
Let's say there's a murder. Let's say there's a murder in Albany. That goes out, but it doesn't, the alert doesn't, every single police department from Albany to, in the whole state doesn't sit there waiting for the alert to come in. It goes to the intel centers. So I'm lost on the questioning. I think I answered it pretty well.
Well, it was my understanding that there was a hot list.
Well, you're wrong. There is no hot list.
Well, I can be wrong, that's why I'm asking you.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. That's
Well,
what I'm trying to tell you. I don't know what a hot list is.
So then, really, the only thing we're searching for is cars in Orange County.
We're not really
You're not
searching
for anything.
for cars. No.
So then what's the purpose?
It's a data draw, so we're
Investigative
Right,
tool.
accumulating data.
That's the problem with it. You're accumulating my data. And
You haven't done
all these-
anything wrong.
All these, hey, everybody uses that excuse.
Oh,
Right?
do you?
Well, if
I
you
would
got
call
nothing,
Betty if you did.
It could
if you
be a-
haven't done anything wrong, why won't you answer my questions?
What am I not answering?
Right? No,
Oh,
I,
he's not talking to you.
that was a
No,
rhetorical
it's,
question.
We have missing persons. We use it for that. We use it for hit and run accidents.
Investigations?
Investigations.
We are not actively using it to track anybody. No, we haven't.
Well, see, I don't understand the use of, does this cost us money? When you send in 32,000 plates a day to the county, does it cost money to send them those plates?
No.
And how long are those plates stored there?
90 days, I believe.
And then they're wiped out?
Yeah.
See, that's another thing. I don't know why, if it doesn't pop on your list, why you should.
Well, I think the
Well, it would if I
problem
had
is
a
there
list.
really is no list, so I think the storage for 90 days is potentially anticipating something may happen 15 days ago, and we may not know about it until the investigating agency gives us a call and said, by the way, did you have a black Mercedes, plate number this, and then we can search for it.
True.
See, if you've accumulated 30,000 plates a day, and you've gotten 2 uses out of it, to me, that's not a big use, so. That's just my opinion. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Chief, I'm just curious, does the village have these readers?
Do they? I know they're trying to.
On the back of the car, you see the 3 units on the back?
Oh, on the cars they
No,
do. They've had them in the past. They had a trial program with a company, and they didn't renew with them.
Well, actually, what prompted my question was I'm seeing these installations up on poles that look like they're cameras of some kind, so they're stationary in the village. If you don't know, I'm just curious.
By the
That
exit?
could be traffic.
By the
Yeah, actually
17
down
exits?
the access road, 17M, down by the light.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, anyway,
I
just
don't know.
curious.
I don't know if we ever could figure out if those cameras, I don't know, those cameras, you guys remember when the trooper's house got lit on fire out in Warwick? They were looking for any cameras anywhere around here. I think they saw those and they tried to figure out whose they were. I think they're just, I don't know, DOT cameras or something, traffic, counting cars, counting numbers of cars or something.
You might want to sit.
Hi Chief, my name's Chris Healy, I live up on Howard Court in Goshen. Love your guys. They do a great job. I do have some questions about this camera and this new technology. Plate monitoring. Is that?
Only way Chris gets up there.
Podium back a little bit.
I think maybe George's.
Just shut them off.
I think you started to answer the question before, video versus picture. Does this have video capability?
It does not.
So if, say, somebody, not me, was to roll through a stop sign, not me, but if somebody to do that, you capture, there's no way to see that. You're not using that as a law enforcement tool at this time. There's no video.
We're never gonna use that. You mean to send tickets out?
Yeah.
No, see, we can't do that.
So it's
I don't
not,
wanna say
it's not live
illegal,
video, so all you're getting is a snapshot and that's it. It won't actually see the car rolling through. Takes a snapshot and that's it.
Leads me to my next question. If there's an accident in an intersection, and you know, I've seen some of these cameras up, would it be possible for an insurance company or a private citizen to subpoena or ask for this evidence to say, hey, I was in the right or I was in the wrong? Is that available to the public?
No, this is for law enforcement only. It's
So-
available for prosecutors, police agencies.
All right, back to that. There's an accident in the intersection. I swear it wasn't me. I didn't run the stop sign, but there I am on the camera in the middle. That could be handed over to a DA and I could be charged.
If there was an arrest, if there was a crime, yes.
Any face recognition technology in use or in plans?
In our station, we have it, but I'm not taking it out. We have it in our police department. It's not working well, so.
Well, if it did work well, you would use it though.
I don't know. I don't like the system we got.
Okay.
It's not working out well for us.
Talk a moment for felony stop. At a previous meeting, citizen Bob Smith there made some really good points, and he did say that there is a high incidence of erroneous plate reading on these plate readers. They can be wrong. On any stop, I think the most seasoned vet is going to, his pulse is going to come up, right? Is there a check on a stop? Are your officers trained to, as they make the stop, do they check that plate against the plate reader information they've been given to make sure that there hasn't been a mistake? Is that part of the SOP?
We don't have them in the cars yet, so we didn't really get any training, but, you know, you mean to see if you could probably get a hit on a plate, a license plate, and it could be the wrong state. Maybe it's the same digits in the wrong, different state. So,
Well,
yeah, you would double check that, I would think.
Well, I would.
We're getting into a lot, wait a minute, time out, Chris. We're getting into a lot of like what ifs. I can't answer a lot of that kind of stuff.
I think my point is that in your training with your officers, are they aware that there are mistakes made with this system and nothing replaces a set of trained eyes? Do we have a final check before we just trust the machine?
Well, it's like anything else. They could be told that there's a green Mustang driving around doing something, and they see a black one, and maybe they, I don't really understand the question.
Well,
Are they trained
We
to?
don't have any officers that are looking at this data consistently. If we have a plate that we are looking for, we enter it into the system and it gives us if that car has ever hit any of our LPRs.
I mean, are you asking that if we do get them in the cars and there's a hit, the plate comes back stolen, you take it like anything else. You take it. You got to develop probable cause.
Not being a police officer and watching a lot of TV, and I understand there can be a lot of misconception there. And what I'm saying is that if an officer receives a call, child abduction, I mean, nothing more to put your hair up than that, right? You're moving. Now you've got a description of the car, you've got a license plate. I'm saying that before we initiate that stop, do the officers confirm that, yeah, that's actually the plate of the car that I'm looking for?
I would say yes.
Okay. Appreciate your time, thank you.
Anybody else? Very good. All right, can I get a motion to close the town board meeting November 14th, 2024?
So moved.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
You're welcome. Good job.